Today, let's dive deeply into some traditional non-duality teachings. There's the teaching of avidya, and what this means is that you do not know your own ignorance. You do not know what you don't know. Avidya is the illusion that there is no illusion. And this is the thing that keeps people most trapped in the dual state. Because as soon as you actually realize that there's an illusion, you're going to do something about it. When people step onto the spiritual path, it's usually for some sort of a reason. Like my own personal reason was I wanted to find out what was the natural human being. Who would the natural human being be before the conditionings of society had grabbed me, right? I've heard this expressed as just simply wanting to find the truth. You've been told so many conflicting things about life, and you're like, what is the actual truth? That is a very, very good way to dive into non-duality. What's truth? But there's a state that came before that. Before you started questioning your conditionings at all, before you started questioning the stories that you've been told. And so in that state, that's the state of not even knowing that you're in illusion. So if you have stepped far enough along the path to know that something is amiss, something is amiss with the way that your mind works. If you notice that you're living in unnecessary stress, that you're living in unnecessary confusion, then this is a huge step forward because you have stepped out of this total illusion where you're literally not even questioning. Then the next step beyond that, though, is to start realizing that the things you know are not true. This is a huge realization. And it can be very disconcerting that you can't actually trust your mind to figure out some of the very basic things about life. When you're kind of looking at it from the outside like this, watching this video, it kind of makes sense that we get confused by these things. And stepping outside of yourself and seeing how other people are confused by the same thing is very helpful. Because there is that very first state where you did not even know you were in illusion. So go ahead down in the comments of this video right now and type in, do you remember that? Do you remember that state where you didn't even know that something was amiss, where you just completely accepted all the stories that you'd been told? And then I'd like to hear your story of what happened when you suddenly went, wait a minute. This doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem real. That's a huge step forward to realize that there is an illusion and you're in it. Sometimes we can see this in other people before we see it in ourselves. Something's amiss with the way people think. And then we reach the next step. And this is the step that is literally destroying our world politically, socially. The fact that people cling to these unrealistic beliefs about things as if that somehow is you, that your belief is you. And then so when we can relax that and start realizing there is a life force inside us that is dynamic and real and does not feed upon or need these illusions. This is the final step before you realize that you are that life force. So if you're working on non-duality, keep on going. It's going to get better.